Search Sources, Part 3, Gale Literature Resource Center. I need secondary sources about a short story or a play.
I need scholarly sources about a work of literature.
I just need literary criticisms. You need Gale Literature Resource Center. Gale Literature Resource Center is a one-stop shop that's a great place to begin looking for secondary or scholarly sources about works of literature. It doesn't have everything, but it's 100% full text. That makes it a great place to start. To search Gale Literature Resource Center, you start on the library webpage, but instead of searching in the big Discover box, you scroll down. Here we have databases by name. You select G from the alphabet. You scroll down to Gale Literature Resource Center. There are a lot of Gale databases, but Literature Resource Center is the one you want. And here we are. What we are going to be looking for is a book called Ship of Fools by Catherine Ann Porter. Since I don't think there is going to be a huge number of criticisms on Catherine Ann Porter's Ship of Fools, and I also have the title and have it accurately, I'm going to ignore this big search box and go over here to Works Search. Works Search is great when you know the name of the work you're interested in, and especially for short stories and single poems, it cuts right to them. Let's see it in action. Now, Catherine Ann Porter is down at the bottom. I'm not sure why, but there it is, and there are 16 items. Of these, 9 of them are criticisms, and you can evaluate them by looking at the title. With a literary criticism, date really doesn't matter, and you don't get a page length. So here we have an overview. Here we have something called Ship of Fools. If I open this, I'm going to see that it's reprinted in Novels for Students, and that while Novels for Students has a volume, Critical Essays on Catherine Ann Porter does not. Look at it carefully. This means I have a reprinted essay from a book. If your professor is not specifically asking you for journal articles, this is fine. You can tell if an article is from a journal in a couple of ways. If you don't see a journal name and you just see the name of one of the series, you'll know. Novels for Students is an example. Reference Guide to Short Fiction is another. It needs to be lit up in blue. If you just see the name of a book series and it's lit up in blue, chances are very good you've got a book essay. This is kind of questionable. It doesn't look like a journal title. This is Novels for Students. This is Mosaic. And it doesn't list anything like Novels for Students. It doesn't list anything in blue. I can open this. And yes, this was reprinted in Short Story Criticism, but if you look at the title Mosaic, you'll see a volume and an issue. This is kind of the big test to see if you have a journal article. Now, when you open one of these, you can email it to yourself. You can send it to Google Drive. You can download it. This cloud over here leads to OneDrive, but not to your GSU OneDrive account. It leads to a personal one you might have on your own machine. So don't use it. Then we have the icons up here. This is email, download, print. You can get a permanent link and put it in a Google Doc or a Word doc. And of course, you can cite it. Right there, MLA 8th edition. Now suppose you are interested in learning more about an author. For example, Susan Laurie Parks, who wrote the America play. Since we know who Susan Laurie Parks is and how to spell her name, this time we are going to do a person search. That means we ignore the big box and choose this icon over in the white ribbon. We're here now. We put in Susan Laurie Parks' name, and we go. There is only one Susan Laurie Parks, and there are 98 results. Here they are. You can choose by title, here's an interview. An interview is a primary source. In order to use a primary source, you need to ask your professor. And again, you want to make sure that there is a volume and issue number, and that you don't have the name of a book series if you're looking for an article. This is lit up in blue, but it's still an article. This is an article. And you'll notice and this is also an article, and you'll notice it's not written up in blue. Let's open one up, and you're good to go. Notice the volume and issue numbers up here. Now sometimes a works search or a person search in Gale Literature Resource Center doesn't work. Or you have a very detailed topic, such as baseball in the works of August Wilson. In this case, you want to use either the big box or advanced search. A more detailed search involves bringing two ideas together. In this case, Wilson as an author and baseball. You want the overlap between those two topics. An "and" written in all capitals will get that overlap. And here we go. You can type in your search terms in any order as long as the "and" in uppercase is between them. And here we are. If you are looking only for journals, make sure that you have a volume and issue. You can also look for items that are not lit up, but be careful, this one is a book essay. You'll notice no volume and issue. I love the title. It's about fences, and it's reprinted in Contemporary Literary Criticism, and as you can see, it is in a book. If you wanted to see what other writers were doing with professional baseball, you could click this subject heading. And the articles are all over the place. But this article looks fantastic. Again, you would use it mostly for background, and it is in a scholarly journal, as you can see. In this video, we have learned how to look for a specific work using Gale Literature Resource Center. We've learned how to look up an author in Gale Literature Resource Center. And we have learned how to do a more sophisticated two-topic search in Gale Literature Resource Center. We have other literature databases, notably JSTOR and MLA International Bibliography. Have a great time with your research and have a great day.